third year.
And of course, this is around the Folklore Festival, and it is just before us. You've been having all sorts of activations in between, leading up to the day.
Yes, we've been doing some fringe shows. We've had literature talks, live performances, Pretoria, Joburg. We kind of launched our platform, We the Folk, and explaining, I guess, our message for the year, which is about 3 cities, 30 days of contemplating freedom in 30, since the 30-year freedom celebration, I guess. So we just wanted to kind of like get people into the vibe before we do a big festival.
I marveled when I saw the lineup. So, I mean, congratulations. The lineup is beautiful. Just to highlight some of those who will be taking part in the Folklore Festival this year.
This year we have Madala Kunene.
Yeah, Ubafo.
Ubafo, Amanda Black, Malé.
Right.
Tubatsimpo Moloi.
Wow.
Sibusile Xaba.
Oh.
Myself.
Yes.
I can't avoid performing this
Yes,
year.
herself.
Yes, because, every year there's an album that I release that talks to the message of that year, because all the work that I do is so interconnected with my music as well, as an artist, as a storyteller, as a poet. And so it's kind of like I got to lead with that as well. So I'll be presenting my project Naindaba. And then we'll have a lot more performers, Vangile Kancho and Mo Africa,
Wamukhati, yes.
With a band. Mam Klinam Shlope will join them. We also have a kids area. It's a family-friendly festival. The kids area will have loads of activities. You can leave them with minders all day from basically 11 to 5 p.m. So loads on the program, loads to look forward to.
Let's talk about when you're saying folklore. I mean, in Mali, they talk about the Malian griot and all the other things. Does folklore evolve? That's what I want to know, because people always say, we've discovered history. Are there more discoveries in the folklore, or we still reflect on one core? That's the part of it.
This is a very good question, because the pure definition of folklore is something that travels through time. And like how folklore travels through time used to be through word of mouth, whether you share a song, a joke, a proverb, a story, a myth, a legend, whatever it is, a dance, any kind of art form is embodied within folklore, and it travels through time if the people believe that it is important enough to pass it on. And so if anything has traveled over the last however many years and centuries, that's folklore, but we creating folklore in real time. It's about archiving in the present.
Right.
So if I'm writing a story now, can you imagine 100 years from now what that story is that reflects our time and our people and whatever our social contract is right now? So that's what it is. That's folklore.
Talking about Nkohla. It's an unplugged session on Radio 2000, Our Music, Your Memories. And we're streaming this one live on our platforms, Radio 2000_ZA. That's Facebook as well as YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, Pilani Bubu.
Popo.
This one's titled Umthombo. It encourages us to drink from the vision and the dreams of our ancestors.
Selam tanam, 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 selam tanam. Isilinga zabatala sihlale sihleli. Selam tanam, 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 selam tanam. Selam tanam, selam tanam.
The song is from a project called Folklore Chapter 2, released last year. And it's really a conversation about how we as African children navigate our destiny by communing and gaining consent from our ancestors. And this next one is titled Tafelibansi, and it talks about Imbeleko, the ceremony of burying your umbilical cord in the patriarchal birthplace in order to alert your ancestors of your existence and to name you as a child. And so this is me crying for this ritual, Imbeleko.
Oh, Safa, Elebanzi, oh, Safa, Elebanzi, oh, Safa, Elebanzi. Talande hambande fonana nenda wabatele kayana, dandela shagile, kwakongem nandanga. Kwafike xesha lokuthi mandijonge ngaseva ndifunele begile nemfanelo sam ndandikhala. Babesithi inkaba yam ebuhlanti beleko yam sazise kwabadala namakhwalo sithi kosekaya apha, kosekaya apha, kosekaya, kosekaya apha, kosekaya tafe elebanzi, oh tafe elebanzi, oh tafe elebanzi, oh tafe elebanzi.
Let me take the chance to introduce the band. Pilani Bubu on alto saxophone. Keenan Orange on guitar. Superior Chabalala on cajon, percussion.
Babesithi inkaba yam ebuhlanti beleko yam sazise kwabadala namakhwalo sithi kosekaya apha, kosekaya apha, kosekaya, kosekaya apha, kosekaya tafe elebanzi, oh tafe elebanzi, oh tafe elebanzi, oh tafe elebanzi kuqalwa khona.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pilani Bubu, Radio 2000, our music, your memories. And of course, we're streaming this one live on our platforms. That is Radio 2000 _ZA. It is Facebook as well as YouCube. YouCube or YouTube?
Maufuna, because really in African language you would
Oh,
combine the T.
busy cube.
Yeah, YouTube.
busy cube. For the benefit of the listeners on the radio, I'm going to speak about the Folklore Festival once again.
Thank
You just give them highlights. Yeah?
The Folklore Festival is doing its third year this year. It's a culture and heritage festival where we truly focus on artists who are embodying indigenous knowledge systems in their work in diverse art forms. So it's multidisciplinary: film, art, theater, music, poets, storytellers, authors. And we've been holding fringe shows with a diverse sort of like connection and intimacy with those artists in order to build up to our main festival, which is on the 14th of September at Constitution Hill. Now, let me tell you something about Constitution Hill.
Do tell.
Seeing that we're talking about Black liberation this year, 30 years and reflecting on our own freedom, our hashtag is We the Folk instead of We the People, right? And so going to Constitution Hill and creating a show there and bringing parents and their kids there, I think is a great moment to kind of reflect on our history because it holds so much of our history. So I'm really proud that we could do that this year.
Beautiful. Tell us about this beautiful song you just sang.
Tafeli Banzi.
Tafeli Banzi. In Zulu, man, ne?
Tafeli Banzi is actually the name of a village in
Yeah.
Transkei Ngaselusikisiki, my grandfather's first property.
Tafeli Banzi. Oh, wow.
When he quit at 40 years old, being a school principal, he became an entrepreneur. And he used to run a shop there. And then they used to call him Umtombo because his shop was always abundantly overflowing. Now, I reflect on it because he named me Pilani. And the song describes, sorry, I'm talking about Umtombo and Tafeli Banzi at the same time because actually they're dedications to him, both of them.
Both of them, yeah.
So because, he named me in Umtombo, talking about his vision and dreams for me to give life and to heal. But in Tafeli Banzi, I reflect on the fact that I cannot grow as a child without the consultation and the communion of our ancestors. Yeah. And we have these rituals that give us these rites of passages. And before any other rite of passage, there's always that first one. And now a lot of kids are returning to Imbeleko and that kind of umbilical cord ceremony. Yeah. And it's really a declaration of your existence in order to say you don't walk alone. You also acquire your rights and your talents and your gifts through a people that came before you. And then this is how we kind of shape and mold our vision. So this is all in Folklore Chapter 2. It's all African spirituality and just that connection that we have with the spirit.
That's beautiful. Let's
talk about the diversity and the urbanization in us, because when you're saying folklore in South Africa, people think the hood.
Nyani?
Yeah, a lot of people don't really think of the homelands because that has been lost. How do you connect the urban folk and the rural folk through the folklore that you're about?
My goodness. So I think that everything is about identity, right? We as a people are constantly like reframing who we are, right?
Right.
I had the privilege of growing up in proximity to the village at Transkei. I was born in Mthatha during apartheid. I'm not going to say my age. and so I was conscientized, and I always say culturalized, in a space where I had proximity to the village. And I think it's also helped me sort of come back to that, which is what the project Folklore is about. Because if you go back to previous projects, I'm writing thoroughly in English. I'm writing soul, funk, jazz. I'm inspired by Motown and the Americas. Do you know what I mean? So, but I'm also equally that child. And so you can't avoid what you've been exposed to, what television you've been watching, what culture we adopted. I mean, even Guaido was looking to America when it came out. It was all about like celebrating liberation. And so we as a people and as South Africans, I think, are finding a way to blend and to fuse these ideas of kind of like archiving our sounds and our rhythms and our language, our vernacular in music, but not losing sight of the fact that music progresses. And so this is how you do this, by just simply leaning into your own identity and kind of like fusing those things.
Let the music progress on this year's stage. What you giving us now?
The next one is from the current project Naindaba, which reflects on the country's history. More specifically in this song, outside of the other topics like youth unemployment, this one talks about inequality and us being the one country in the world with the biggest gap between the rich and the poor. And it just talks about how rich people or capitalism continues to benefit while other people suffer. But also that asifani singabantu, all people are equal, but some are more equal than others. But if we looked in the mirror and we found our sense of humanity, we might find...
What book was that?
George Orwell. What? No. Animal Farm.
Animal Farm.
I almost said To Kill a Mockingbird.
No.
Animal Farm, George Orwell. Yes, that was the one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pilani Bubu.
Asifani singabantu asibabona abanye abantu
asifane singabantu abanye bakhulu kunabanye abanye banemali insakala ayifani kwabanye asifane singabantu 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 asifane singabantu. All people are equal, but some people are more equal than others. Asifane singabantu asibabona abanye abantu selahlekelwe bubuntu thina asifane singabantu abanye bakhulu kunabanye abanye banemali insakala ayifani kwabanye asifane singabantu asifane singabantu asifane singabantu asifane singabantu asifane singabantu. Kukhona abaphila ngamehlo evaliwe kukhona abaphila abanye basaliwe kukhona abavakalelwa yinhlupheko yabanye benzela imali bona asifani singabantu asifani singabantu masijonge esipilini masijonge enhlizweni sizobona ukuthi thina siyafana siyafana masijonge esipilini masijonge enhlizweni sizobona ukuthi thina siyafana siyafana masijonge esipilini masijonge enhlizweni sizobona ukuthi thina siyafana siyafana asifane singabantu asibabona abanye abantu selahlekelwe bubuntu thina asifane singabantu abanye bakhulu kunabanye abanye banemali insakala ayifani kwabanye asifane singabantu 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 asifane singabantu. Gotta truncate it for the radio.
Asifane singabantu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you articulated it well before, you broke into song. Future collaborations very, very quickly, and projects that you're busy cooking.
It's so crazy to mention future collaborations because every time I think the songs are going to come out, they don't come out. Quite a few songs written in the dance music space,
Right.
Brazil, South Africa, and
Looking
Kenya
forward
this
to
year.
that.
I just don't know what the producers are going to decide. But I myself am working to go slower, see deeper. I've done 7 albums thus far, and so I really want people to digest what's already there and to leverage. But there's a project that I've been working on for 10 years that's become even more relevant. And it's called That Box. And it's done. It's just that I cannot release a full body of work until I actually take the time. I think my ancestors are begging me to be a teacher. Slow down and explain to the kids what you mean to say. So I'm going to go slower, see deeper, single by single. I'll start releasing probably end of the year.
That's the way to go, because
Yeah.
you can stretch it, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's a lot of collaborations there too. Sorry, you asked. It started in Kenya with a collective called East African Wave, and they did a lot of the electronic elements. It's quite alternative jazz, soul. And then I've collaborated with an artist called One Love the Kubalo on a song called Wondrous Love in Ghana. Some of this content they can find online if they want, because we perform the music live sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I've also just kind of taken the music live. So I worked with RJ Benjamin to kind of do the last leg of the production. And it's got some really beautiful musicians from South Africa on it, Benjamin Jafta, Neil Engel, just loads of people playing on it, Ludwe, Bradley Prince. So I'm really excited for that.
We look forward to it.
I mean, you've seen the globe, you've traveled. I mean, but still undiluted local. Which, do you think there's enough talent this side, or you still have to go abroad and search more better talent for discovery in terms of folklore?
What? I mean, every time you ask me a question, I feel like you've already answered it. And the reason for us to really hone in on our folklore now is that we still have so many raw elements and things to preserve that are not easily identifiable. So if you talk South African music, people will tell you about Hugh Masekela, they'll say Jesse Clegg. Do you know what I mean? And they're dying to hear the diversity and the talent that we have in South Africa and across this continent. And I must tell you, if you grow up in a homogeneous society, you're kind of all one track headed towards the same thing. We're a country of 12 or 11 different languages, of different cultures that hone into different things linguistically, rhythmically, instrumentally.
Straight.
And so we have such a big job still, actually, to put ourselves out there and to really like take our music to the world. And so the answer is, it's all here.
Yeah.
This is where the treasure is.
It's all
Seven
here.
here.
Introduce us to these gentlemen that sit behind you.
Absolutely. That's Keenan Arons on guitar and acoustic
Yeah,
guitar.
I know him.
He's been around here a couple of times.
How you doing, Keenan? Nice one.
Simpura Chabalala on the cajon and percussion.
Hey, Mshemu.
Homie.
Awuzwa.
Pumlani Mtiti on alto saxophone.
Booms and pooms.
Selapa.
And this is us stripped down.
Stripped down.
Yeah,
All right, it's Pilani Bubu. I repeat, you want to give us two. Two.
Okay.
Tell them where they can get a hold of you on your social networks and yeah.
Sure. It's Pilani Bubu on all social platforms, except my name is not Zwana, but it is Nguni, but without the H. Pilanibubu. And from my pages, you can also find the folklorefestival.za, and the websites are the same, pilanibubu.com, www.folklore.community. All tickets for the festival are on Cricket. So please do support. We're very grassroots, community-based. We're just building. We're only 3 years old. Come and celebrate with us.
Nkoseva?
Just
Inkosi
be you.
Ndiyabulela. Thanks, guys. The last two songs, one is from Naindaba. It's called Kumnyama, and it just reflects on the fact that we shouldn't forget the problems and the plight of black people post-liberation and post-colonialism. And then the last one will be Abantwana. It's about not forgetting the children and teaching them and just kind of giving them what we know so that they can carry on and forge lineage and legacy. So first up, Kumnyama.
Kumnyam, hebomele kumnyam, kumnyama, emhlabeni umnyam. Siyalena Sekangela inya Siyalena sekangela ila So sesifike na enyanini na Bandabam yama Bandabam yama So sesifike na enyanini na Bandabam yama Bandabam yama Oh yo yo Ubuqoke sebuphilayo phakathi kwethu ngoba ilizwe alekhathali siqhathana sodwa thina sihluphane sodwa sixabane sodwa singamanxila siyafana So sesiphila na enyanini na bandabam nyama So sesiphila na Sekangena ilo Seyanenane Lenane Sekangena Inyang Kumnyam Ever many dum
Thank you. Abandon. Badlalela ekhaya bahlaqa ngameva kokwabo bazobadla beve ngendlebe zabantu abadala ngendlela zasekhaya ngendlela zangasemva nendlela zakudala abantwana mabangadlaleli kude badlalela ekhaya bahlaqa ngamatya kokwabo kuze bafunde ukuzikhusela kwindlela zangaphambili nendlela zangasemva nendlela zasekhaya kuze baphile Sengalelanga kalengoma silwele sithi masethu sithi asifuni sizawuqinisa sinqishe sithi hayi asifuni sizawutshaya imfene mdam siqhube phambili sizawubhala indlela zethu ngalo nyawo lwethu sizawufuna ngalo olunyawo lo mntu omdala sizawufunda kuye kuba uyasizanda Oh yes, Susanna. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yes, Susanna. Oh yes, Susanna. Oh yes, Susanna. Join in wherever you are. Whoa, 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 yo, yo, yo. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's put our hands together. Thank you so much.